Thank you. And I think, one of the commitments we have on this committee is to find those areas where we can move forward together. And I think Mr. Khanna really elucidated some of those areas, those bipartisan areas with our industrial base. I think we also have some level of bipartisan consensus on winning the competition with the Chinese Communist Party for those key advanced technologies of the future and countering the CCP's malign influence operations and illegal trade practices. So over the past 2 years, this administration and Congress have enacted historic pieces of legislation, the CHIPS and Science and Inflation Reduction Act, which have really led to reshoring of American manufacturing and work to de-risk our critical supply chains with China. So we've seen the U.S. manufacturing sector gain 385,000 jobs in 2021, 396,000 jobs in 2022, largest annual manufacturing gain since '94. And we've seen private sector investment in reshoring American manufacturing. I think robust export controls on the Chinese semiconductor industry and working in concert with our key allies, including Japan and the Netherlands, has been very powerful. These policies are already bearing fruit, but we still need to do more to counter China's threat to the democratic world. I was really glad to see the administration put the Commerce Department at the same table as Defense and State. To support this, I had a provision included in this year's NDAA that will have the DoD further assess where commerce can be brought into our global efforts from the Secretary all the way down to attaches abroad, because we really do have to strengthen and expand our investments and really align all of our forces as a whole of government. Expanding investment into R&D and innovation is really, I think, one of the key goals here. But I also am very concerned as we move forward to do all of this along the lines of what Rep. Steele was talking about. We really have problems with our rare earth minerals. So last year, as the Biden administration enacted robust export controls on the advanced chips critical to China's domestic semiconductor and AI industries, and bringing Japan and Netherlands on board, as we discussed. In response, we saw the CCP announce earlier this month it would impose its own export controls on critical minerals such as gallium and germanium. So how are these bans impacting our economy, and how is the administration preparing for a potentially larger imposition of sanctions, especially in these rare earth minerals? Ms. Kendler, do you want to start?
Sure, thank you very much, Congresswoman. I share your concern about our need for additional protections through technology to support national security. These actions, such as the germanium and gallium controls, are not new for the PRC. For years, especially in the semiconductor industry, they've targeted our technologies, thinking particularly about the Fujian Jinhua theft of intellectual property and criminal case associated with that. We've had decades of CCP-directed action, predatory action, really. The gallium and germanium controls, they're just in huge contrast to what we do. They were adopted with ostensibly a national security rationale, but there's been no clarification of what that national security is. In huge contrast to what we did with the advanced computing rule last fall, where we were very clear about the military application of the technology that we were controlling. So we're working very closely with allies and partners on these issues, and I think it's difficult to predict retaliatory action given the arbitrary nature of China's controls, but we are deeply focused on this.
Well, I appreciate that. I would just push back a little bit. I'm not sure it's that difficult to predict what we're going to see in the future as we continue to try to shape the environment. I think we are going to see more and more instances of China putting our supply chains at risk, which is why I do think some area where possibly we could get to bipartisan support is investing in R&D for how we can cleanly mine. I do think at this point we need to understand how we can mine here and in countries that we have good relationships with. I'm happy about the Memorandum of Understanding with Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo. I do think we have to move more into this area, and I think we have to look here at home as well. So thank you, and I yield back.